We're going to make a stewed chicken dish using the chicken leg meat boneless with okra and tomatoes and potatoes and peppers, onions and celery and chicken stock and white wine and a little cream. This is going to be good. Let's just put it together. So the first thing, I put Cajun seasoning on the chicken, mix it up real good, then I'm going to throw flour in there, and then we're going to saute the chicken. So I mixed up the Cajun well in there. Now the flour, I don't know, that's about almost a cup of flour, because you want to dust every piece that's in here lightly, and then we're going to saute all of this along with the rest, with a couple of items. So now we'll put the oil in there. Well, let's put the oil. You have to be a little bit liberal with this because we've got to saute that chicken. I'm using olive oil. You can use butter, you can use whatever you like. That's hot enough. We drop the chicken in there, shaking off the excess flour. We don't want too much flour in there, just what's on the chicken. So if you're lucky, like I was, you would just put enough flour in with the chicken, as you see, with just a little left over, so it makes it easier to pick the pieces out. So now we're sauteing this chicken fairly quickly, and after it gets nice color, we're going to take it out and go to the next step. So all I can say is, you have a high flame like this, because I don't want to waste too much film. See? And we got to brown these pieces. So this might take you about 10 minutes or so. We'll just keep on going like this, mixing, turning, give it a chance to cook, and we'll look at it. So at the 4-minute mark, this is how the chicken's looking. It's not a very high flame, it's a moderate flame, cooking nicely. Just keep on going like this, mixing the pieces. And I'm using chicken leg meat. Why? Because it's going to be juicier to eat. Okay, so there's a little bit more fat. But if you do an item, if you use the chicken breast, it's always too dry with this type of cooking. The only time I like to use a chicken breast, if I'm going to put it out on the grill and eat it immediately. Now it's been about 7 minutes, and the chicken is getting near to completion. So I want this cooked, because later we're just going to mix everything together. Another couple of minutes I'll be taking all of this out. Okay, well that's good enough. We're at the 10-minute mark. We'll just remove the chicken, leaving the frying pan right there, because now we're going to saute the vegetables. Right in that delicious chicken fat that's in there. It gives everything else a lot of flavor. Now we're going to saute in here everything except the tomatoes. And what I did was I diced up the potatoes very small. Why? Because they take the longest to cook. And we're doing this like in one shot. You might say, why potatoes in there? I don't know, it just gives it a nice body, taste. My starch is in there, my vegetables, the chicken. So we'll go about sauteing this. If we need a little bit more oil, I'll add it. So just keep on mixing this like so, and I'm going to put a drop more oil in there. This also should take about maybe 10-12 minutes. Just a little bit more oil. That's a moderate flame. We'll just cook this, and I'm going to add to this some salt and cayenne pepper. Nope, there's a lot of cayenne pepper in the chicken, so I'll just add salt and we'll see how and a little pepper. Since I'm not looking for any color with the veggies, just to cook everything, I'm going to put a lid on it. It'll help cook it, keep the steam in, keep the heat in, cook a little faster. Now it's been sauteing for about 4 minutes. I'm going to add the tomatoes. Now what's going to happen, whatever liquid is in here, when we throw the chicken back in and cook it for a few minutes, that flour is going to come off the chicken and make whatever liquid in there, thicken it up. So it's like we have somewhat of a roux. Well, another minute or so went by. I'm going to add the white wine and the chicken stock, and add the heavy cream later. Well, it's been about 8 minutes, and that amount of liquid that's in there, I like it, because I don't want this dish to be too dry. Been cooking for exactly 10 minutes. I like the green and the red. The only concern I have is that those little potatoes, they have to be cooked. I lowered the flame because I don't want to lose too much moisture. I just want to cook everything. Potatoes are just a little bit too firm, and we have 1 more minute to go for the 12 minutes. I'm going to have to go for another couple of more minutes on this. Well, the potatoes are tender, which means we can finish this dish up. Still a nice amount of moisture in there. Let's put the chicken. And then let's watch what happens. Boy, this is a hearty meal. Get some rice on a plate, and then you have double starch, but that's okay. What's the difference? Put a little cream in there. It'll change the color a little bit, make it look rich. See, this is what I do. I look around, see what I have in the refrigerator. I say, will this work with this? Of course it'll work with it. Let's raise the flame and get this finished. Cover it up, and this should take just about another minute. Well, as soon as it started to boil, which is like now, I lowered the flame. I don't want this to burn or stick on me. I just want to finish heating up. You could add some more cream, but you know what? Leave this sauce light. I'll just let it simmer for another minute or two. The flour will thicken everything up. We're done. Nice texture. The cream really finished it off. That was like, if I didn't have the cream in my refrigerator, this recipe wouldn't have cream in it. But I like the way it finishes. And even if you heat this up 2-3 more times, the leg meat will still be tasty and not dried out. That's what the good part of the leg meat is. The bad part is might have a little fat. But you know, you don't cook this every day, do you? I hope not. I hope you enjoy that. Oh, that should be enough for like 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say 4 people. 3 people if they're hungry. 2 people if they're really hungry.